She bragged on TikTok about dumping me and keeping the ring, until the pawn shop's viral response turned her boss move into a national lesson on karma. When I proposed to Ava, I really thought I'd met the love of my life. We'd been together for nearly 2 years. She was fun, confident, beautiful, and just the right kind of chaotic to make life interesting. She had this energy that drew people in. She could walk into a room and instantly become the center of attention. That should have been a red flag, honestly. But back then, I thought it was part of her charm. I proposed on a quiet evening, just the two of us, candles, dinner, and a ring that meant the world to me. It wasn't the most expensive one, but it was my grandmother's. A family heirloom passed down through generations, with a small engraving inside, Forever E and R. My grandparents had been married for over 60 years, and she told me once, "Give this ring only to someone who'll understand what forever means." So when I gave it to Ava, I truly believe she did. She cried, said yes, posted a picture of the ring within minutes, and tagged it. He finally did it ring red heart hashtag engaged hashtag my forever. It got thousands of likes. I didn't think much of it. She was a social media girl, after all. But I should have realized then. For her, life wasn't about moments. It was about content. Things started changing a few months later. The wedding planning became less about us and more about how it would look online. She wanted everything aesthetic, every detail viral worthy. When I suggested something simple and intimate, she'd laugh. "Babe, people are expecting a spectacle. We're not doing a backyard wedding." She started going out more with her influencer friends, brunches, parties, collabs. And every time we argued about money or priorities, she'd throw her favorite line at me. "You knew who I was when you met me. Don't try to change me now." It got exhausting. Then one day, after another argument about her oversharing private things online, she said she needed space. I told her fine, maybe we both needed time apart. She packed a small bag and left for a few days. I didn't call or text. I wanted her to have her space. But then my phone started blowing up. Friends were sending me screenshots of a new TikTok she'd posted. It was her, smiling into the camera, wearing the ring, with the caption, "I dumped him and kept the ring nail polish gemstone hashtag boss move hashtag free at last." In the video, she laughed, sipped a mimosa, and said, "Ladies, remember, never give back what you earned." The comments were brutal. "Queen energy crown. Get that ring, girl. Men are replaceable. Diamonds aren't ring nail polish." I just stared at the screen. It didn't even hurt at first. It just felt surreal. We hadn't even officially broken up. She hadn't called. She hadn't texted. And now, the woman I thought I'd spend my life with was publicly bragging about dumping me and keeping a family heirloom, something she knew was never just jewelry. That ring wasn't bought from a mall. It carried a story, a promise, a name. And she'd turned it into a punchline for strangers on the internet. I sat in silence for a while. Then, I opened a drawer and pulled out the small folder where I'd kept the insurance papers and appraisal documents for the ring. My grandmother had been meticulous. There were receipts, photographs, even notarized records. And in our state, an engagement ring isn't a gift. It's a conditional token of marriage. If the wedding doesn't happen, it legally belongs to the giver. I smiled for the first time in days. Because Ava had just turned her whole breakup into a very public confession, one I could easily prove false. But I didn't plan to sue her. I didn't even want to talk to her. I just wanted one thing, to get the ring back. So, I called my friend Marcus. He managed a local pawn shop and knew the secondhand jewelry market like the back of his hand. "Hey," I told him, "if a diamond ring with an engraving that says Forever E and R comes through your store, let me know." He laughed. "You think she's gonna pawn it?" "Knowing her," I said, leaning back in my chair, "I think it's only a matter of time." Marcus promised to keep an eye out. Then I deleted her from my socials, turned off notifications, and went quiet. I wasn't going to post a thing. I wasn't going to argue online or defend myself. She wanted a show. I wasn't giving it to her. But karma? Karma was already setting the stage. And when she finally walked into Marcus's pawn shop 2 days later, smiling like she owned the world, she had no idea the curtain was about to fall. 2 days after her viral, "I dumped him and kept the ring nail polish ring" post, I got a text from Marcus. "Marcus, hey man, you're not gonna believe who just walked in." "Me, Ava." "Marcus, yep. And guess what she's trying to sell?" I didn't even need to ask. Marcus told me she'd come in wearing oversized sunglasses, hair tied up in a messy bun. The classic, don't recognize me, but please recognize me influencer disguise. She put on that same confident act she always did online, even as she slid the ring across the counter. It's real, she said. Custom design, heirloom piece. Should be worth at least $12,000. Marcus played along. Nice piece. Any paperwork with it? She gave him a smug little smile. Don't worry about that. Just appraise it. Marcus looked at the ring, the same one he'd seen in my hands before. The faint engraving Forever E and are still visible under the band's curve. He kept a straight face. He appraised it quietly, then said, "You mind if I take a quick picture for verification?" She shrugged, scrolling on her phone, probably checking her likes and comments. Marcus snapped the photo, not just of the ring, but of her face, the timestamp, and the store logo in the background. Then he said, "Give me 10 minutes to check authenticity with the registry." She nodded, clearly impatient, and stepped outside to take a call. That's when Marcus texted me the photo. "Marcus, want me to report this or let her hang herself first?" "Me. Let's do both." I called the local police department. Nothing dramatic, just a simple property report. Since the ring was legally mine, engagement not fulfilled equals ring returns to buyer. And I had the original documents. They opened a quick case. By the time she came back into the pawn shop, Marcus handed her the ring with a polite smile. "Sorry, ma'am, I can't make an offer right now." The piece flagged in our system for ownership verification. Ava blinked. "What do you mean flagged?" Marcus shrugged. "Standard procedure. Someone might have reported it lost or stolen." Her face turned pale. "Stolen? No, it's mine. My ex gave it to me." He gave the most Marcus answer ever. "Ah, then you probably want to clear that up with the police. Because they're on their way." She froze. "You called the cops?" Marcus just pointed at the door. "They'll want to ask a few questions, ma'am." According to Marcus, she grabbed the ring, muttered something about crazy ex-boyfriends, and stormed out. By that evening, she'd posted another TikTok, this one much less confident. "My ex is so petty, he called the cops over a ring. Like, grow up." Except, she'd forgotten how the internet works. See, Marcus, who ran the pawn shop's official page, decided to do a little PR damage control for his business. He uploaded a security still of a woman matching Ava's exact outfit trying to pawn a ring, with a caption, "PSA, don't try to pawn items you don't legally own. We always verify ownership." He didn't tag her, didn't even mention her name. But the internet didn't need much to connect the dots. Within hours, comments started pouring in under her video. "Wait, aren't you the girl from the pawn shop post? LMEO Karma's real skull. You kept his grandma's ring? Not you stealing family heirlooms for clout," loudly crying face. Her once sweet comment section, full of queen energy and boss babe, turned into a battlefield of mockery and disbelief. People started duetting her original video with the pawn shop image, adding captions like, "How to lose your followers in 24 hours nail polish." From hashtag boss move to hashtag court move. And then, the kicker. Someone found the public records for property claims in our city and posted a screenshot confirming the ring was, in fact, listed under my name. It went completely viral. Suddenly, her face was on Reddit threads, TikTok commentary pages, even gossip blogs titled "Influencer Brags About Keeping Ex's Ring, Gets Caught Trying to Pawn It." Her followers dropped overnight. Brands she'd been working with quietly started removing her collaborations. Meanwhile, I said nothing. Not a single post, not a single comment. Silence is louder when the other person won't stop talking. A few days later, I got a call. Unknown number. I picked up. "Hey," her voice cracked. "Can we talk?" I didn't say a word. She sighed. "I didn't mean for it to get that far, okay? I was just, I don't know, angry. And I didn't actually sell it. You don't have to press charges." I finally spoke. "You filmed yourself mocking me while wearing my grandmother's ring. Then you tried to sell it." She tried to sound defiant. "It was just a joke." I laughed quietly. "Then here's the punchline. Keep it. You've already lost everything else it was worth." And I hung up. 2 weeks later, she posted one last TikTok, crying, saying she'd been canceled unfairly and that people didn't know the full story. The comments? "We saw the full story, sweetheart. You uploaded it yourself. Next time, maybe don't flex theft online ring skull." That video got maybe a few hundred views before she deleted her account entirely. As for the ring, Marcus called me one last time. She brought it back. asked if we could just forget about everything. I told him to keep it in his safe until I came by. When I held it again, that same ring, small and shining, I thought of my grandmother's words. Give it only to someone who'll understand forever. And I smiled, because I finally understood what she meant. Forever isn't a ring, or a promise, or a post. It's what you do when nobody's watching. Update. It had been about a month since the whole ring fiasco went viral. My life had gone completely quiet, in the best way possible. No drama, no stage photos, no one screaming about who won the breakup. Just peace, work, and a dog I'd finally gotten. Something Ava always said would ruin her aesthetic. But peace doesn't stay peaceful for long when someone like Ava exists. One afternoon, as I was leaving work, I saw her waiting by my car in the parking lot. Same oversized sunglasses, same posture, trying to look confident while clutching her bag like a lifeline. I didn't say a word. I just walked past her to unlock my door. Eli, wait. Her voice cracked on my name. Please, just let me talk. I sighed. You've already told the entire internet everything you wanted to say. This isn't for the internet, she said quickly. It's for you. That got me to pause. Barely. She stepped closer, pulling off her sunglasses. For the first time in years, she looked real. No filters, no lashes, just red eyes and a kind of defeated energy that didn't suit her usual confidence. I lost everything, she whispered. The sponsors, the followers, my apartment, everything. People still send me messages about that stupid ring. I folded my arms. Maybe don't post private humiliation for clout next time. I know, she said softly. You don't understand what it's like to live with everyone's expectations. I laughed. You mean, everyone's validation? She flinched. You don't have to be cruel. Cruel? I shook my head. You mock me to a million people. You wore my grandmother's ring as a joke. You tried to sell it. I'm just being honest. She wiped her eyes. I wasn't thinking straight. I was angry, and I wanted to look strong. I wanted people to think I was winning. And how's that working out? Her silence said enough. Then she said something I didn't expect. I came to give this back. She opened her bag and took out the small velvet box. Inside was the ring, still shining, untouched. I never should have taken it, she said quietly. You were good to me, better than I deserved. I ruined it because I cared more about how it looked than what it was. For a second, I almost felt something. Not forgiveness exactly, more like closure. Keep it, I said. She frowned. What? Keep it, I repeated. Because the lesson's yours now. Every time you look at it, remember what pretending cost you. She blinked hard, then snapped the box shut. You really don't care, do you? I cared for years, I said. That's why I don't anymore. And I got in my car and drove off. That night, I checked social media for the first time in weeks. Ava hadn't posted anything new, but there were rumors, screenshots, and gossip threads saying she'd started volunteering at an animal shelter, staying offline, working on herself. Most people didn't believe it, but one comment caught my eye. Maybe she finally realized attention isn't the same as love. I smiled a little. Maybe, maybe not. 3 days later, Marcus called again. Hey man, funny thing, he said. That girl? The ring girl? She came in again. I groaned. What now? She wasn't selling anything. She just wanted to donate a necklace to a women's shelter we sponsor. Didn't want credit, didn't give her name. Just said, for someone who needs a real start. That surprised me. Marcus laughed. Guess you're not the only one who changed. I sat with that thought longer than I expected. People like Ava, they live off image, approval, control. But maybe losing it all made her human again. And as strange as it sounds, that made me glad. Because closure isn't about revenge or seeing someone suffer. It's about realizing you're finally indifferent. I looked at the ring again that night, still in its box, back on my shelf. Maybe someday I'll give it to someone else. But for now, it's just a reminder, not of heartbreak, but of boundaries. And the peace that comes when you stop chasing validation from people who never deserved your silence in the first place. Final update that it had been 6 months since I'd last seen Ava. 6 months of quiet mornings, clean boundaries, and the kind of peace you don't realize you've been missing until you finally have it. Life was simple again. Work was steady. I'd started hiking on weekends, learning photography, things I used to love before my relationship turned into a PR campaign. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like a side character in someone else's feed. Then one afternoon, a small, cream-colored envelope arrived at my door. No return address. Just my name and handwriting I hadn't seen in half a year. Ava. I almost threw it out. But curiosity got the better of me. Inside was a handwritten letter, something she'd probably never done before. No fancy stationery, no perfume sprayed on the paper, just plain ink and the kind of shaky words that only come when pride finally breaks down. Eli, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from. I don't expect forgiveness. I'm not writing for that. I just wanted to thank you. Losing you forced me to meet myself, and I didn't like who I met. You were always calm when I was chaotic, patient when I was cruel. I wanted the world to see me as perfect, but you saw through me. And instead of hating that, you still tried to love me. That's what makes this harder. Because now I understand what real love looks like, and I can't undo what I did to it. I read it twice. There was no manipulation in her words, no blame, just acceptance. And that, more than anything, made me feel something I hadn't expected: peace. At the bottom of the page, she'd written, "The ring is at the shelter where I volunteer. It's being auctioned to raise funds for women who've been hurt by the people they trusted. I thought you'd like to know it's doing something good now. Goodbye, Eli." A week later, I visited that shelter. Not because I wanted to see her, she wasn't there, but because I wanted to see the ring one last time. It sat in a small glass case among a few other donated items, shining under the soft fluorescent light. A woman behind the counter recognized me. "She said you'd come," she smiled. "Said if you ever did, to tell you thank you for teaching her how to stand on her own." I nodded, not trusting my voice to say much. Walking out into the cool evening air, I realized something. Closure isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just a letter, a glass case, and the sound of your own footsteps walking away from the past, for good this time. I didn't keep the ring. I donated something else instead, a new one, smaller, but bought with intention. Not for her, for the next auction, to help someone else start over. Because some stories don't need a villain or a hero. Just two people who finally stop hurting each other by letting go. That night, I stood on my balcony, city lights stretching out below me. No bitterness, no regret, just gratitude for the mistakes that taught me my worth, for the endings that made room for something honest. A message popped up on my phone. It wasn't from Ava. It was from someone new, someone I'd met a few weeks earlier at a photography class. "Still up for that sunrise hike tomorrow?" I smiled. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't running from the past. I was walking towards something better.